What is it like to actually come back from a Super Bowl loss or an AFC Championship loss and have to rebuild? What's it like to play for Andy Reid, to take everything that he has to give and then make something out of it? How competitive is this offense with Patrick Mahomes and all the new weapons and all the new faces? We're going to get into that today with a very special guest here on RGR Football. Welcome back to RGR Football. I'm Ryan. This is me going rogue, RGR, and this is what we do. A little bit something different. Now, this is the Sunday Night Breakdown. If you're new to us, make sure you like this vid. Make sure you hit that bell. Make sure you sub to the channel because there's a lot going on there. And for those of you that are joining the memberships, make sure you reach out to me at rgrpodcast@gmail so I can get you into the Discord because you rookie level members, that's where you get in. Tonight's special. The Chiefs are about to start phase 3, and that means actual on-field practices with the veterans and the rookies back together. To this point, there's been some lift, and there's been the rookie minicamp, and obviously a little bit of rookie premiere kind of stuff going on, a little bit of hype. But this is where it all comes back together. And so we got lucky, and I'm going to interrupt this, what was going to be a live stream. This is now pre-recorded because I got a chance to do something that you don't see here on YouTube very often. For those of you who don't know this channel very well, you don't find Chiefs players on the platform very often if it's not from the official Chiefs channel. Well, tonight we're going to have a conversation that I had this morning with the Chiefs starting fullback, Mike Burton, who is returning. He's been on the show before, and a lot of you guys have seen him, but he has a unique perspective because he's an older veteran, so he's seen it all. He plays for Andy Reid now after playing for Sean Payton, playing for Jim Nagy, Matt Nagy, not Jim Nagy, sorry, wrong guy. Really unique perspective, plays on the offense and obviously leads on special teams. And that's where a lot of the rookie class is going to have to get in there. So he's got a little bit of knowledge about everything that's happening right now. And you guys know that I love a fullback. That's not why he's here. It's because he's so experienced and so knowledgeable about what the Chiefs do and why the team is unique and the coaching staff is unique. And obviously, one Patrick Mahomes is pretty unique. So he's got perspective there. So he's going to take us through a couple of topics here coming up. We'll get to him in just a minute. But I wanted to kind of lay the groundwork. This is right at that phase where you're coming off what was, obviously the Bills win was great. The loss to the Bengals was terrible. It's difficult to reboot after that. And yes, it's been a few months. It doesn't necessarily help. It actually makes things fester a little bit in the minds of the veterans that have to come back and start the next campaign to get back to the Super Bowl. And that's really what this is about, is how do you reset? You've had your time off in the offseason. You've gotten your body right. Where do you go from here? How do you accept the new aspects of the roster, the rookie class, et cetera? Especially for Mike, there's a unique connection there. I think it's really neat. We're going to talk about that in here as well. But I wanted you guys to see this as they get ready to start this week, because this week is where it starts to click. It's where the 2022 Chiefs football team comes together. It's where the roster starts. It's where the connections start. It's about how you start making that progress. Really interested to see what you guys think. So make sure you leave your comments, not only in the live chat that will be open as if this were a live stream, but also in the comments down below. Active players, we don't get a whole lot in the offseason. So this is really nice of Mike to take his time out to hang out with us. So let's get to him now. Mike Burton, Chiefs starting fullback. Well, folks, you've been waiting for it. I'm very happy to have your fullback, Mike Burton, back. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a while, but you gotta take some rest and relaxation, kind of reload after last season. Now you're back in Kansas City, starting to get the ball rolling again. How is it this year getting going?
It's great. That familiarity with the coaches and the players and stuff like that, as opposed to last year being my first year. So just great to have that, continuation, from the end of the year, and just excited to get better and be back with my teammates.
I think it's really exciting because you're in a unique position. I don't think the fan bases always remember that every team's kind of its own beast every year, right? Because you have new guys and you're always like that step farther towards being the vet that they're going to come to and ask, like, how do I do this? Like, where do I go? Do you find yourself in a better position or having more patience? Like, here's how you get this thing done.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I really do enjoy talking to the younger guys. Like you said, tell them where to go, kind of how to carry themselves, how to be professionals, as well as veterans too that come from other teams. But typically veterans that come in, can figure it out and a little bit easier than maybe the younger guys who aren't used to it. So definitely enjoy that side of it, and excited to get going with these rookies. Absolutely.
I'm glad you bring up the rookies because you're
Yeah.
kind of a unique position here, Rutgers grad.
Yeah.
How do you like getting somebody else, a few years behind you, but Isaiah Pacheco pretty well,
Yeah.
as I understand.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. No, I was super excited to get him in the building for sure. Add him to our room. I think he's a great kid, great back. He's a big, strong kid, runs hard. I think if you watch his tape, he runs like it's his last carry. He runs like his hair on fire, and I think that's very advantageous for us. I think it's going to bring a spark to the room, to the offense. So, big kid, fast, can run too. He's got great speed. So, really excited to have him in our room. I think he's going to do a great job, and obviously being a Rutgers guy, definitely rooting for him. And kind of like you said, I missed playing with him, but I'd gone to some spring practices a few years ago, and I kind of knew this kid had a chance, even a few years back. So glad he's, with us.
I really like his style. Like, he seems to aim for the chest plate instead of the shoulders. If we can just get him to aim a little bit outside, he'll miss some tackles. So, like,
Yeah.
do we get to see you guys in the same backfield? Have you started bending Coach Reed's ear yet about let's load it up?
Yeah, I haven't yet, but hopefully we can get a Rutgers package in there. I think that'd be pretty cool, like Scarlet Knights or something like that. Yeah, it would definitely be pretty cool for sure.
I'm gonna have to come up with something for that. We're gonna nickname that now, so it makes it easier on Coach Reed. But
absolutely.
When you take a step back at what you've seen go on since the end of the season, it's changed the dynamic in terms of length down the field. And I know that for me, I'm always looking for a little bit more balance to get you guys on the field more, you being the running backs on the field more to kind of balance that out. And does the departure of Tyreek Hill and the change in the offense that you have to do when you don't have a singular deep threat like that, does that open up the playbook for you guys in the running back room more?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a possibility, right? I think, obviously Tyreek, his ability to stretch the field was unmatched. There isn't a better player, in the league that can do that. He obviously got his touches and he was going to get his yards. So in theory, right, that opens up maybe some more catches and opportunities for other guys. But at the end of the day, it's an opportunity for the backs, and we got to prove that we could do that. Take over some of those catches and maybe be a little bit more involved in the pass game and stuff like that. But and we have the guys to do that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Derek Gore, Ronald Jones, Isaiah, all the rookies coming in. We have the ability in the room to do that. So really excited about where we can get to. We got to just keep practicing hard and getting better, and put our best foot forward and just have the opportunity, to cash in on those plays.
Cashing in, I like that.
Yeah,
that's probably the best way to put it, because it's going to throw defenses off, right? So
right.
When you guys go to approach this, I think it opens up a lot of opportunities because it's not a singular deep threat. You now have guys that can stretch the field, and MVS and McCole, and then you guys from the running backs and the tight ends position, you have some more room underneath. It seems like it, because it's not all directed in one way or another. You got to know where Kelson Hill were last season, right?
Yep. Yeah, no, absolutely. And you still got to know where Kels is. I mean, he's unbelievable, right? And again, he's going to get his catches and his yards and his production, and it takes it upon ourselves to, like I said before, cash in, take advantage of those opportunities, when our name is called.
So I guess the big question for me is, you have all these new faces coming in. What do you guys do this time? You're not on the field, you're in strength and conditioning right now. It's still in phase 2, right? And so as you get back onto OTAs and you're kind of running through, you guy at this position, you guy here, that kind of thing. How do y'all go about like bringing it all together? Obviously you're in meetings and you're on the field when you're actually doing things, but outside of that, how do you build chemistry?
No, absolutely. And I think it started back in April when Pat got all the guys together in Texas, right? That again shows his type of leadership, his type of work ethic, grabbing all those new faces. So really guys have been working together, especially the receivers and the quarterback, since April, learning the terminology, the formations, and getting on the same timing page as Pat. So it started back then. And then now it's just a continuation of that. Now the coaches can get involved. and we're in the meeting rooms and we all do it together so everybody can hear the same thing, right? And then you go out on the field and you rep it. It's just going to be repetitions like anything else. And then all of a sudden it clicks, everybody's on the same page. We get more repetitions in training camp, the preseason games, and then all of a sudden boom, clicks, week one. But it is new faces, but the way, Brett Veach and Coach Reed and his staff, right, they bring in smart, intelligent, tough football players that pick up things very quickly. So it's going to be, no surprise when things are clicking, a lot sooner than later.
You mentioned that, and that's a really good point. This is your second year in this offense.
Yeah.
Compared to what you'd been before, I know New Orleans, Chicago, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But now that you look back a year ago, how difficult, how smooth was the transition getting into this offense, and what do you project for the other guys that are vets that are coming into it?
Right. I think it's going to be a smooth transition, A, because of the type of people that, we bring into this building, but also B, the coaches that we have, right? Coach Reed, I mean, he's an incredible coach in terms of communicating to his players what he wants. He puts us in the best position possible to be successful, right? And that trickles down to Eric Bieniemy, to all the position coaches. With me, it's Greg Lewis, right? So when you topple, the players that you bring in with the great coaches that we have on staff, that mixture, I think, allows guys to pick up things very quickly. And then the leadership of Pat, getting guys together, talking about it, making sure we're all on the same page, right? Each and every single rep. So you add all those things together, and I think it's going to make for a very smooth transition for these new guys.
I especially like the idea of Coach Lewis in the running back room. Now, again, he transition for him last season too, but now he's getting there, right?
Yeah.
So when you guys are like just clowning around, you're doing, the quarterbacks like to throw at the crossbar, right? Do you guys like work on who's making one-handed catches and that kind of thing? Like, how far does it go?
Yeah, it has. Okay, so it hasn't trickled down to our group yet, doing those types of competitions and stuff. Not yet. Maybe soon, hopefully soon, but not yet. We haven't. The running backs haven't done anything like that yet. So I guess we'll see. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
In order to do your job, you got to have some help up front, and a couple of rookies started all last season. Now they're a year removed, right? So just as that group comes together in front of you and you get to watch it from a unique perspective, how does that second year progress in terms of what you're able to do as an offense, but you in particular, like how much can you pay attention to outside things and not have to worry about those two rookies?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we didn't even have to worry about them last year. Yeah. I mean, let me tell you, those two guys played as good as a football as I've seen as an offensive lineman since I've been in the league, especially for rookies. I mean, they were just phenomenal. They're great in the run game, pass game. I mean, it's really something special to watch those two guys and them off the field too. Great guys, love football, great leaders, so didn't really have to worry about them, this past year. And I'm thinking it's the exact same thing this year. But, for me, being able to hear the same terminology, the same formations, the same verbiage again and again, it just clicks, it happens a lot quicker. So, I'm on the field and I'm not thinking nearly as much, which allows me to play faster, which, again, allows me to, hopefully that should elevate your game. And I think that's going to be the same thing with Trey and Creed, right? They're going to hear the same words again, and it's only going to, make their game better.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that, because it's one thing to be one of five on the line, right? But then as you get it all going and that clicks that much quicker, I think it opens up what you can do, right?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. I think so too.
I like that concept. And I think it's going to be really important to see how the vets fit in with that. But once you get that line established, I'm excited. Yeah. Every now and then you're going to have to punt the ball away. I'm guessing 3 or 4 times this year.
But exactly.
You're a guy that has to do it all, and you're big in Dave Tobe's eyes. So you have to be kind of that steward for the special teams as well, right? Because Marcus Kemp isn't here right now. Who knows if that can be changed and you get another vet that knows it all back. But just making that transition, how hard is it for you, especially when we were talking about rookies before? Those guys are going to have to play some teams, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's no question. And that's a role that I've really embraced and really taken on this offseason. And something that's really important to me, like you said, is to kind of be that leader of the special teams. Something I take a lot of pride in is not only playing special teams, but being a good special teams player, something that I'm always working at, trying to get better at each and every day. So, to be that leader, that's again, that's really important to me. And I'm trying to bring the young guys along and connect with the older guys and the new faces that are in here and just letting them know, hey, here at Kansas City Chiefs, special teams is important. We take this very, very seriously. We have a lot of pride in this group. We want to be the best group in the league. So just communicating that to the new faces, to the young guys, and just letting them know, like, hey, this is the standard that we play with here, with the Kansas City Chiefs.
For those guys, knowing that they're going to have to fit into a veteran group in a number of ways, like, how do you go about explaining just there's guys that haven't played teams before, right? That have been on the field in their college teams and didn't have to do it. And just how do you emphasize that change for somebody who just hasn't done it to this point?
Yeah. I think, again, it starts with Dave Toes being a great football coach, right? So we're out on the field and we're able to do some fundamental things and really hammer the details right now. This is the phase that we're in. So having guys be able to get those repetitions after repetitions and hone in on the details from Dave Toes and Coach Andy Hill as well. So being able to rep it like now, I think is going to pay dividends, come later. But it's just a mindset, right? Like you said, a lot of these guys, especially higher draft picks, maybe never played special teams in college because they were starting, playing every single snap on offense or defense. But when you come here, you got to learn it and you got to rep it. It's important because I think they don't understand maybe the roster, right? The roster is a lot smaller in college, and if you're active on game day, like, you got to be ready to go. You never know when your name could get called. I've been around in situations where if two guys go down, you see a starter filling on special teams. So you got to know and you got to be prepared. And it's a preparation thing. So again, just trying to explain that, like, you never know when your name can get called and you want to take advantage of that opportunity if it comes. So just hammering that to the young guys, I think is important.
Yeah. And I think we've heard that through a lot of the pressers from the rookie class. We were talking about, I'm working on multiple positions all the time. And that's just part of the job. But I think, again, the fan base doesn't get to see that. But I want you to give the fans a little bit of inside, like, between you and me and the walls, what's the most difficult special team to play on? What's the hardest task out there to actually accomplish and execute well?
Speaking on the 4 phases, I would say, so that's kickoff, return, punt, return. Oh man, I think frontline KOR is pretty tough block. I do. Just because you got great athletes with a full head of steam, they could see their returner. Now you look back and you're supposed to have eyes on the returner, but then when you flip your hips, you lose eyes on the returner, but they're able to see eyes on the returner the whole time. Like I said, great athletes, full head of steam, can be very big guys too. They can be 3-4 outside linebackers, so bigger guys too. So if you're a frontline guy, and a single blocks now, right? I mean, you can double, but like the back end, you can't double. But let's say you're singled up on the front line, that could be a tough block. It takes a lot of technique, and it's something that a lot of guys maybe don't didn't used to rep like in college. So that can be a little bit of a transition coming into the league. And I think if you ask like veteran special teams guys, they kind of say, frontline KOR is definitely a tougher block. But I'll say this, we have a lot of great guys who do a really, really good job of it. Usually it's tough because you need to be a little bit of bigger body to kind of take that force on from a bigger guy, but you have to have good feet and quick hips to be able to flip around and take good angles. So there's a lot that goes into it, to succeed in that block.
Yeah. I think most fans look at it as just when you're moving angularly without contact, but it's also about once you make contact, moving your feet so you can maintain that angle, right?
Exactly. Oh, there's no question. Make sure your hands are inside, so you're not holding. You're not out here. Your hands are able to go inside. So, and you got to sustain it for quite a while, depending on where the returner is and what the return is. So, if you can learn that technique, you become very valuable, in my opinion.
It's got to make it harder when you have a returner that, I don't want to put this in a negative way, but a guy that might change his decision, a guy that has the ability to change direction that fast might put you in a difficult position, right? So it's about verticality north and south down the field at that point.
Yeah, I think the returners, like, obviously, what the scheme is, you try to hit that, but the great returners, they have a feel for things, right? They just have this sense where if they see the kickoff team overcommit one way, they want to cut back. If, let's say, the 2 on the backside is we call it trimming the fat, like super fast, like he might be able to get outside of him. And so I think good returners kind of have that two-way go. Ideally, you want to try to hit what the scheme is, but there's some variability in there depending on what the kickoff team does. Like if they overcommit one way, you definitely want to take advantage of that for sure.
Yeah, exploit what they give you. I'm with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited, and you've given me a ton of time. I appreciate you being here, and welcome back to Kansas City. Get training.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that unique perspective, obviously, in somebody that's actively on the roster. A lot of fun. So like, sub, hit the bell. Make sure you become part of Rogue Nation. That is the members group here. And check out our other channels. You've seen a number of them. Make sure you sub to NFL33.com. That's for league-wide look at trend setting. There'll be a lot of roster talk here in the next few months until we start the season. A lot of good information over there. Dan and I and our team are coming together. It's going to be a lot of fun. But right now, today, I just want to say thank you. The draft season was great, and now I get to do some of these special things, some of these one-off things that you're going to enjoy. We're going to have more content for you this week. Some unique perspectives, some player profiles like I did with McDuffie 2 weeks ago. Got a little delayed on that. We'll have some more content coming for more film coming for you. So don't miss anything. Make sure you're here because we're here 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. So you know where to find us. Thanks for watching this one. We'll catch you next
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.